Hello everyone, welcome to Fame World Educational Hub. Myself, Ashwara Saxena, live here to discuss about Python programming. So today I am going to start this new educational hub in which I will be going live for Python programming tutorial. This series will be going live on the per day basis and we will be discussing multiple stuff on Python programming. So let's start. First of all, when we are talking about Python, Python is basically a programming language, and when we are talking about language, language is a medium of communication. Whichever language we choose, either English, Hindi, Urdu, Farsi, Marathi, Japanese, Spanish, whichever language. Basically, what is a language? Language is a medium of communication. Now, when we are talking about programming languages, so programming language is used for the programming purposes in the computer. And when we talk about computer, which language does computer understand? Computer understands one language, and that language is machine language. So computer understands only one language, and that is machine language. Machine language is basically the binary language or the binary codes that is 0 or 1. Now, if we talk about the classification of language on the various bases, there are different kind of classifications of language. But here we are going to see the very basic classification of language, the type of language you can say, that is low level language, middle level language and high level language. The low level languages, like the languages which come in the category of low level language, are very much machine dependent. The examples of low level language is machine language and assembly language. So machine language and assembly language are the only two examples of low level language. When we talk about high level languages, so the languages which follow the concept of object oriented programming are kept into the category of high level programming languages. C++, Java, not C, C++, Java, Pascal, COBOL, C#, Python. These are the languages which follow the object-oriented programming features and they are kept into the category of high-level programming language. Now talking about C language, as it is kept into the middle-level language category. So what's the reason that it is kept into the middle-level language category? Many of you must be thinking that it is a high-level language or it is a low-level language, but actually, C language is a middle level language. So C language is middle level because if you know, so to develop the Unix operating system, the C language was created. So if a language was created to develop a complete operating system, so it must be much capable of dealing with the complex programming. So as C is capable of dealing with complex programming and a complete operating system is built on it, even the translators like compiler and interpreter are created using C language. The different softwares, different system softwares are created using C language. So it cannot be so much low level language or a machine dependent language that it can be kept into the low level category. When we talk about that why it is not in the high level language category, it's just because it does not have the features of object oriented programming. So as C language do not have the features of object oriented programming, so it is not kept into the category of high level language. That's why C language is kept into the low level language, middle level language category. Now talking about Python. What is Python? Python is basically a general purpose high level programming language and it is used for developing multiple kind of applications. It is a general purpose high level programming language because like Python can be used for creating different kind of applications. So it not only follows the object oriented programming, it also follows the procedural approach, it also follows the modular approach, the different kind of approach which the different programming paradigm like object oriented, modular, procedural, scripting, functional, all kind of approaches are followed in the Python. That's why it is basically called a multi-paradigm programming language. It can be used for developing different kind of applications like console application, desktop application, web application, mobile application, machine learning applications, and IoT applications. So different applications can be created using Python. Now talking about the popular applications developed in Python. So YouTube, Mozilla Firefox, Google, Dropbox, Quora, Instagram, BitTorrent, these are different languages which are developed using Python. So Python programming languages everywhere you can see, like the YouTube, the Mozilla, different applications of Google are created using Python. Instagram, the Zoom application, if you have heard about it. So these all are created in Python. Now talking about the different features of Python. So it is very simple and straightforward. Like it is having really simple and straightforward syntax. It can be anybody's first programming language too. So if a person is learning programming, so it can be anybody's first programming language too. Python is case sensitive. That means that it does not make it like it is really important in the case of Python that we are using the uppercase alphabets, that is capital alphabets, or lowercase alphabet, that is a small alphabet. So the uppercase alphabets and the lowercase alphabets are two different things in the case of Python. That's why it is called a case sensitive language. It is an object oriented programming language. Yes, OOPS concepts are followed, and as I have said, on the daily basis we will be going live, so I will be discussing all these concepts in the live lectures. So you can put up your queries in this live session, so it will be really easy for you to understand the things in a better sense. It is dynamically typed. That means it's have to declare the data type at the time of declaring the variable. Whenever we are taking the variable, it's not necessary in the case of Python to declare the data type. The data type can be understood by the Python itself at the runtime. So either it is integer, float, or a string. We just have to take the variable name and then it will be understood by the interpreter. Indentation is used in the place of curly braces. That means we do not have to use the braces, and even the parentheses are very less being used here. So the concept of indentation is basically the spacing concept, and that you will be understanding in a very better sense when we will be doing the practicals. And indentation is used in the place of curly braces. So the curly braces concept is removed here when you are creating the block of if or for or any loops or conditional statements. So you do not have to use the braces. Use variable without declaration. That means, as we have already discussed, that we do not have to use we do not have to declare the variable. We can directly use it. Now talking about that it is interpreted language, so we will be discussing it in a very wide sense in the further lectures, in the further live sessions, that interpreted language, what it does mean. So when we are talking about Python, as you know about Java, maybe somebody know or some of you do not know about Java. So Java basically has a concept of Java virtual machine, that is a JVM. So the JVM concept is followed in Java. Similarly, in the case of Python also, PVM, that is the Python virtual machine concept, is there. So the PVM is the Python virtual machine concept, and that is followed here. And we will be discussing it in detail. So the compiler and the interpreter, so these both things are there. The compiler and interpreter, both are translators, are there in Python. We will be discussing the concept of PVM, that is the Python virtual machine, very soon in the upcoming live sessions. Now talking about the features of Python, so it emphasizes on the code readability. So the code readability is very important in the case of Python. So the codes which we write in Python are really simple and straightforward, that it is much easy to understand the code directly by going through it. Automatic memory management, that means the concept of garbage collector is also here in Python. So we will be discussing these things in very detail. Dynamically typed, that means we do not have to worry about the data types at the beginning when we start taking the variables, so we do not have to tell the data types at that time. Then large library set is here. So it is having a large set of libraries. So different libraries are present for the different programming purposes here in. It is multi-paradigm programming language. So multi-paradigm programming language means that, as I have already told, that it is not only object oriented, it also follows different kind of paradigms here. So it is multi-paradigm, that means not only object-oriented, the procedural approach is also followed here, the functional approach is also followed, the scripting and different approaches are followed here. It is platform independent, that means when we are talking about platform independency, that means when we are working on the programs of Python, we do not have to worry about that which particular system we are using or which particular Windows or operating system we are using. So the configuration of the system does not make a big difference in the case of Python because it is platform independent. So platform independence means that the different configuration of system, the operating systems which we are using, does not make a problem for Python programs. With the Python interactive interpreter, it is easy to check the commands directly. So here in the case of Python, there is interactive interpreter also, and that is IDLE. That is the IDLE. We will be discussing it today only, in today's lecture only, today's video only. So it is here, like when we install Python, so IDLE, that is the integrated development environment provided by the Python language, and it will be coming by default with Python when we will be installing it. So that is basically the interactive interpreter here. Now talking about the different libraries available here, so you can see there are different kind of libraries: the graphical user interface, web framework, multimedia, database, networking, test frameworks, automation, web scraping like crawlers, documentation, system administration, scientific computing, test processing, image processing, IoT related. So different field, different scenario libraries are available here. So these are not the names of libraries, these are basically the type of libraries which are available here in Python. So these are the different libraries which are available here in Python, and there are different examples of these kind of libraries, these types. We will be discussing them in detail in this online live series. Now talking about the learning career path. Now when we are working on Python, when you are trying to create a career in Python, so what is the learning career path? So Python basics, first of all you should know the Python basics. So we will be going towards the Python basics here also, and covering all the basic concept, that means the core Python you can say. We will cover all those concepts, and then we will be moving towards the GUI application. Like it's not necessary to go towards the GUI. These, like after basic Python, there are different types of career. You can go either for the GUI or web application development, that is a website, Python for data science, Python for AI and ML, big data analysis with Python, Python for IoT. So these are the different career fields which are available in the case of Python. I hope these things are clear to you all, and if you are having any queries you can ask. Now I am coming towards that how you can download this Python. So when you are working on this Python, you obviously have to download it. So how can you download Python into your system? So now I'm just going to tell you. So just coming towards my Google, like my browser, I am here. You can use any browser whichever you prefer. So here I am, and you can just go for Python download. You can just check their Python download, and here you can see that python.org, that is the website for downloading Python. And here you can see that the latest version of Python is 3.9. So now you can see that the latest version of Python is 3.9, but it's not the thing that there are not the previous versions available. If you are already having any other version installed into your system, there is no problem. Like in this online lecture series, in this live session series which I have started today, I will be working on multiple stuff. And let me just show you this download section, like whichever operating system you are using, either Windows, Linux, Mac OS if you are using, so no problem, the version is this only, you can download it directly. And now I'm just going to show you in the download section, you can just go to view the full list of the downloads. When you will coming towards this full list of the downloads, here you can see that let me just scroll this down, you can see here 3.9 which has been released in the October 5, on October 5 2028 got released. And after that you can just see that on 24th of September 3.8 came, 3.5 was on 5th September. So like the release of the Python versions are really frequent, you can see it is really frequent. Okay, so the versions are coming frequently, so it's not necessary that you are going to download the latest version only. If you are having any previous version, that also you can follow, but yes, please make sure that you are using any version equal to 3.7 or above 3.7 for this series which I am going to carry. Because if you are having any version below 3.7, so like 3.6 or any other, so like you can just install the latest one or any version above 3.7, because the libraries which we will be using, which I will be demonstrating here, will be containing some stuff which will be not supported in 3.6 version. So you can see the updations in different versions are continuously coming. You can just refer this. And here I have just shown you the complete list of downloads. So this is the latest version. And now let me just show you that when you are downloading, when you will be downloading this Python into your system, so one important thing that you have to take care of, that I am going to tell, I am not going to install this right now because I am already having one version, but yes, I will be showing you that what is the important step which you have to take care of. And here you can see it's this is one old version setup which I am having right now. So 3.8.2 you can see, but whatever version you are downloading, either 3.9 or any other, you just have to make sure that you are going to check this add Python 3.8 to path. So you have to check this. Okay, this is very necessary, otherwise it will be not working so properly. So make sure that it is ticked, and then you can just go towards this install. Okay, so then you can just go towards this install, and there is just two step next and next wizard is there, you can just install it directly. I'm not going to install it because I'm already having it. So now I'm just going to show you the IDLE, that will be my today's content for the practical. So we will be discussing some interesting things here in the practical session today, and I'm just going to start with the practical, and on the daily basis I will be coming live and we will be discussing much content, and on the basis of your comments I will be helping you out. So now here you can see that after installation, if you will be just searching this Python into your system, suppose you can see that 3.8 version is installed into my system, and here one IDLE is also coming, IDLE, and we have already studied about the interactive shell. As I have told you, the interactive shell is there, so that interactive shell is IDLE only. So if I will be before opening it, I just want to show you that what is idle. So if you will just searching it, or I am just showing you by myself only. So let's read this small content here and you will be understanding it. Like IDLE is an integrated development environment for Python, which has been bundled with the default implementation of the language since 1.5.2b1. So like Python is coming bundled with idle, and idle is the default IDE. So that means that you do not have to install any IDE when you are working with Python, because you are also an integrated development environment for Python. Now it's not that we will be not using any other IDE. Of course, we will be using PyCharm also, Anaconda, Jupyter, multiple IDEs we will be using. But yes, for now, I am starting with idle. So I am just here and I am just searching this idle, or you can just search Python onto your system. So here you will be getting this shell. Now, as I am having 3.8.5 version installed into my system, so that shell is coming. Where is the shell? You can see Python 3.8.5 shell. It is showing here, Python 3.5 shell. So in your system, whatever version you have installed, that will be here. So now when we are talking about shell programming, like we are having shell here, so that means we are going for the shell programming. So when we are working on the shell, that means we are doing the scripts. So that means now we are going to run the script of Python. And today I am going to start with the arithmetic operations in Python with the help of this ideally. So we will be moving towards the files also, we will be moving towards different IDEs, different concepts, but as it is the very first lecture, it is the very first session of this live lecture series, so I am going to start with the very basic concepts so everybody would be able to cope up with. So now I'm just going to start with the arithmetic operations and let's take it. Suppose I'm taking 2.3, you can see it's 5. Now let's take 23 minus 3, so it's 20. Now I'm taking it, let's say, multiplied by, okay, fine, it's coming good, correct. So can anybody tell me what would be the answer for this? Please, everybody tell me in the chat. Everybody tell this in the chat that what will be the answer for this. Come on, I'm waiting. In the live chat. What will be the answer for this? Okay, so like let me tell you, when I will be just pressing enter, you can see it's 22.5. It's 22.5. So in different languages, what happened when we are working on different languages? So when we divide something, we get the integer division. But in the case of Python, when we are using the single slash, that time basically we are getting the floating division. So we are getting the floating division here, you can see, and if we want the integer division, we have to use this double slash here. Now you can see it's coming integer division. So this way it comes integer division when we are using double slash, and single slash if we are using, then it will be coming in floating. Fine. Now if I am just using the modulus, so the modulus is very same as different languages, it will be giving us the remainder, so it is really same as all other languages. Now suppose I am just taking 8 plus 9 minus 10, so it's 7. Okay, then I'm taking 8 into 2, let's take 8 plus 2 into 3. Okay, so I'm just taking now 8 plus 2 into 3. So now what would be the answer for this? Can anybody tell me? What would be the answer for this? Okay, what was the answer for this? So now here you can see it's 30, and you can just feel the difference of the bod mass. So the bod mass is very strictly followed here. If you are using this brackets, then the answer would be different as compared if you are not using, because the bod mass is strictly getting followed here. Now after this, coming towards the next topic here only, like after this, if you want to work with the string, so I'm just starting a string here, but yes, I'm not going to go very in the depth. We will be continuing that in the tomorrow's live session, but right now I'm just going to start with it. So let's do that. Suppose I'm just taking a equals to, or I'm taking n equals to fame word. So let's print it. You can see it's printing properly. If I'm taking n equals to, in the single quotes I'm taking fame word, and now here you can see the single quotes also it's working properly. That means in the case of Python it is same, either we are taking single quotes or we are taking double quotes, both would be same here in the case of Python. Now if you are using single quote or double quote on the shell, you can see we are on the shell right now, so it will be coming in the single quote. When the output we will be seeing, it will be coming in the single quote. But if you want to print it, so you can see print n I have taken, so this variable I am printing, and you can see fame word is getting printed, but there is no quote coming, no single quotation is coming here now. So this way it can be working. Now if I'm talking about let's take print operation. So print operation we can use in any program whenever we want to print some message. And here I have just printed a variable, and before that I just want to tell you one thing. As you can see, suppose a equals to 10 I have taken, it is an integer value. Then I am taking b equals to 34.22, that is decimal value, that is a floating value. Suppose c equals to, I am taking abc, it is a string value because it is a collection of characters, so it is a string value. Now here you can see I have taken three different variables, and all these three variables are having the different values. Now I want to check the data type, so you can just use this type function, and suppose I have taken type A, and now you can see it's class int. So what does it mean? This class int means that, if you remember, in the different languages we are having the concepts of primitive and non-primitive data types, but here in the case of Python there is no concept of primitive non-primitive data types. Everything is in the format of classes and objects. Of course, we will be discussing the object-oriented programming concepts in the further live sessions. But yes, right now just understand this thing, that the object-oriented programming concept is mainly concerned on the classes and object, and everything in Python will be in classes and objects. So that you can see that if I am taking A, that means it's saying class int, that means it is integer. Now I am taking type B, and B we have taken a variable, and here you can see it's float. Now let me tell you one more thing, that in the case of Python the concept of double is not there. So the double data type was there in different languages, but in the case of Python double data type is not present. Now let's check this also, type C. So C is basically ABC, that is a string, so it will be telling class str. Str means string it is. So this way you can see that we are getting the different data types accordingly. Now working on the string only, if we say, so we can perform different operations on the string on the shell also. Suppose I want to print this fame word 10 times on the screen, we can just multiply it by 10, and here you can see that we are having it 10 times. It's really interesting. Now suppose I'm just trying to print let's say and here I'm just taking Aishwarya, and suppose I'm writing, let's say in single quotes, and I want to write Aishwarya's laptop. So now here you can see the color. First of all, you can just notice the color, and it is changed here, and I'm just pressing enter. You will be seeing the error because we have used it as single quotes 2 times, string also, and for the apostrophe also. So here I am again using this. For this we are having these two different things, so we can just use Aishwarya's laptop in this way. So here you can see it's printing properly now. Now suppose you want to concatenate the string. Suppose I'm taking name, and in my name I have written my name, and let's say I want to take my name is, and the name variable. So here you can see it's working very properly, or like this. So this way also it's working very properly. So it's really simple, you can see, working on the shell. So today I am keeping till here only, and in tomorrow's live session I will be discussing about the different string operations available in Python, and we will be going towards multiple arithmetic operations also, like different string operations, manipulations also we will be seeing. Also, one thing I want to tell you that you can just follow me on Instagram. The Fameword Educational Hub account on Instagram is available, so you can just follow Fameword Educational Hub on Instagram. Okay, and also the link is in each and every video, so you can just follow Instagram handle of Fameword Educational Hub. So I will be just posting the live timing there on everyday basis, and there are different kind of interesting stuff available for you there also, so don't miss it. Also, you can follow Fameword Educational Hub on Facebook. So you can just follow Fameword Educational Hub on Facebook also. So the different updates related to the upcoming live sessions I will be uploading on my Instagram or Facebook page. So you can just connect there. You can also join the WhatsApp group of Fameword Educational Hub. The link of that WhatsApp group is in each and every video's description. So I will be just giving the link of the WhatsApp group in the description of this video also. This live session, after the ending up of this live session, I will be sharing it. So I hope this today's content was fruitful for you. I hope you understood, and don't worry, your queries I will be solving in the next lecture. So I will be just checking out your comments and the queries which you are putting up. I will be helping you out with that in the next lecture, in the next live session. So see you all in the next live.